Hi, thank you for joining me for today's process video, and today I am using the new Pretty Little Studio Love is Kind collection to document a photo of myself and my husband Ross when we were on our recent cruise. We've gone to one of the fancy restaurants on the cruise ship for Mum and Dad's 80th birthday treat. There were 12 of us at the meal, and this was just a selfie that I took of us two, and I quite liked it, so I really wanted to scrap it. So I've pulled out two of the papers from the collection, and you can see there I've just cut them 4 inches wide, and I'm offsetting them behind the photo. I've torn the bottom edge, one from top left to bottom right, and the other one from top right to bottom left, just to create almost like a banner shape when they're layered up together. And I matted the photo onto white cardstock before I started, just to create that lovely white border. I've also pulled out this title from one of the die cut packs that says Perfect Pair. I just thought that would work really nicely with a picture of us two. And now I'm using one of our brand new heart stencils from Hey Little Magpie to create some hearts around the edges of the photo mat. So I've got 2 inks there, and I'm so sorry, I'm up in our bedroom doing this voiceover while things are going on downstairs, so I can't see on my screen what colour that is, but hopefully you can see it on your screen if it's bigger. So I've gone with a pink and a yellow that work really nicely with this collection, and you can see I'm just using my mini blending brushes. Again, this is something that we sell at Hey Little Magpie, to pick out some of the various hearts that are going to go on that left and right hand side and do them in both colours. So I've got one brush for each colour there. I did pull out my big blending brushes because I wasn't sure if I was just going to do a whole background of the hearts, but in the end I decided to do this differently. So this is a stencil designed by me, and I've designed it with the hearts fairly wide apart, so that you can do this. So you can pick out different colours and have different coloured hearts on the background. It's also very easy to overlap them, and you'll see me doing that shortly, so that you can have layered up hearts on top of each other and create a busier background if you want, with more hearts, just by moving the stencil across a little bit. So I hope that makes sense. But you'll see what I mean once I've finished this stenciling. You can see how at the moment I've just got the hearts as they are on the stencil, but then I'm going to start overlapping so that some of the pinks and yellows touch each other or overlap each other slightly to create interest on both sides. I don't do loads of them, but just some of them. But for now I'm just building up the area to check that I'm happy with how that looks on both sides. And you can see I'm just realigning the stencil each time, using the colour coordination, if you like, using the colours that I've previously brushed through the stencil. You can see it there on the stencil, so it's easy to line it up again. So almost there with this part, and then, as I say, I'm going to start overlapping the hearts. So I'll start that on the left hand side. I think this may be it just about now. Yes, so you can see now I'm starting to move the stencil around. I'm not lining it up as it was, just so that I can get this lovely texture and dimension by overlapping some of the colours together. So I've got both of my inks open, and I'm just switching between the brushes to add the different colours. So I hope you can see that clearly. So you can see I've done it on the left hand side. Just want to do a few more, and then I'm going to move over to the right hand side shortly and add a couple of overlapping pieces on that side. And my intention was to have this strip straight down the centre of the page, but I do move on from that. I don't know what it is about me trying to do a central layout, central vertical layout. I tend to keep adding things as I go. Nearly there with the stenciling. It does take a little while. I'm just coming back in with the stencil each time I see a little gap that I want filling, and just adding. And there's plenty of ink on the brushes, so sometimes I'm not even reloading my brushes. I'm just going through the stencil. So now that's done, I wanted to add some splatters with that same yellow, so just using a tiny brush, wetting down some ink, and then just adding those splatters through those 2 columns of hearts. So I move that to one side to dry. This is one of our brand new dies from Hey Little Magpie. It's the mini scallops, and I just wanted to add that down the left hand side of the paper mat there. So I'm adding a long strip here. I just tore a little bit off because it's 21.5 centimetres long, this die, which is brilliant for scrapbooks, but it was just a little bit too long for me. So I've just taken that end off, and then I'm going to use that along the bottom of the title. So the layout's dried. It's dried very quickly because we're having a bit of a hot spell here at the moment in the UK. So I've added that to the base, and then here's where I'm going to stick that end piece from the scallop border die. I just used some scrap black cardstock to cut that out. So just using my T-square ruler there to check that it was straight. And then I'm going to come in with some of the gorgeous, I think they're called snow cone borders from this collection. And I start with the heart one, which is the obvious choice really for me, for a picture of myself and my husband. So I'm just going to pop that across there, and then I'll find some other ones to layer underneath. With hindsight, I should have found all the borders that I wanted and then stuck them down bottom to top, because each time I'm having to pull up or peel back the bottom to be able to tuck the next one underneath. I didn't have any glue on it, but it still sits flat, so I'm just having to curl them up a little bit. And of course I had to pull that black piece back up, but I'm just gluing that back down again. It wasn't an issue. So here's the second scallop, this lovely pink with a diagonal stripe. So I'm just going to tuck that underneath those hearts. So just, as I say, just rolling those up slightly to get that tucked under easily. And then I'll just use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive glue to get that stuck down underneath those hearts. And then once that piece is down, I'm going to come in with a beautiful yellow rickrack style border and add that. And you get, I think it was 23 pieces in this pack, so you don't need to scrimp and save. I mean, I've only used 3 on this layout, so I've still got 100 left. So here we go. There's that other one. Just gluing that down again with the Nuvo. It's easiest when it's thin pieces like this to use the Nuvo rather than messing about with the ATG gun. So now I'm coming in with the hearts, of course. These are the die cut hearts that come in the collection, and I'm just bending them in the middle and adding glue just to the middle section because I want to make these look like they're stitched down, and I do find a way to do that. So first of all, just adding a bit of glue. I add, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 to the left and 4 to the right hand side of the layout. And in differing sizes as well, and they just layer on top of that stenciled base and create a different texture. And I'm just using all the colours in the collection. It really is a gorgeous collection. So here's where I'm starting my faux stitching. So I'm just adding a line straight down the centre of each of the hearts and overlapping the edges so that it looks like they've been stitched in place. And you'll see in a bit I do add to that using the clear stitches stickers that come with this collection. They're absolutely gorgeous, and there's one that's got crosses on, so it makes perfect cross stitch addition to those pen lines. Now you could just draw on with your pen. The paper is ever so slightly shiny. It's much better in this collection than it has been in previous ones, but my gel pens do struggle a little bit on it, so you may have seen that as I was doing my lines there that I had to go over a few times to get them to show, so I just couldn't be bothered continuing to fight with my pen when I've had those gorgeous stickers, so that's what I'm going to use in due course. So here I'm going to add my journaling mark lines. I don't journal on the camera because I just wanted to find out some more facts before I went ahead with the date and things, so you'll see those in the close-ups at the end when I show the finished layout. And I do move that journaling section down towards the bottom right hand corner, because when I start adding things you'll see I create a diagonal line from top left to bottom right. So that label sticker is going to hold my date. I'll use my roller date stamp to add on there, and then I'm going into these gorgeous word phrases to add around in between these hearts. So I've got various phrases that relate to being a couple. So I've got I'm yours, cheers, family is forever, side by side, better together, together, love like ours, lifetime of love, key to my heart, moments I live for, you're the best, and my sunshine. So just dotting those around, adding them to the left and right, and using various colours. I've gone with the teal, the pale blue, the peach, the yellow. I think that's it actually. And then I found this lovely piece that just fitted perfectly underneath that title that says, happiness is being married to your best friend. So Ross and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary recently, so it's testament to the fact that we do get on very well most of the time. We bicker, of course, like most couples do, but we do come to the same conclusion on most important decisions. So I think that's what you need as a couple, really, don't you? So just looking through, I've almost finished. I'm just trying to see if there was anything else that I want to add. I don't want to overload the page with these little word phrases, but I want to make sure that there's balance between the two sides. So just making sure that I add them evenly to both sides. And I know I just want to add another one just there, so it pulls the eye out to the right a little bit more. And the same on this side. So now those are down, I just want something to add to the bottom of that label just to complete that little section. So I find a lovely little stripy yellow heart, so I'm going to add that there. And then here are those stitching stickers that I was talking about. They're just clear stickers, and I'm just going to cut down little strips to add to each of the hearts. So they either hold 2 or 3 crosses depending on the size of the heart. So I won't make you watch me doing all of this because I'm literally doing exactly what I said. You can see there how I do it, and there they are all completed. So I felt that the layout needed a little bit more. It was a little bit top heavy. I've gone a little bit high probably with that banner piece. So I'm just adding a scrap of paper to the bottom right hand corner. I just tore a chunk out of the white cardstock, and then at the top left I'm going to add something as well. And this is the reason that I've moved the journaling down when I came to do it. I just rubbed out those lines and moved it further down towards that torn section. So I'm going to add a little shelf here using this teal scallop, and then I'm going to add a heart to the left. Just it's almost like a shelf, isn't it? So adding a yellow heart to the left, and then I go into the clear stickers, one of the clear sticker sheets, and find one that says you and me. So that works really nicely, and that creates that lovely diagonal from top left to bottom right, which I really enjoy. So here are those stickers. So do check this collection out. It's absolutely beautiful. It's just been released. Pretty Little Studio. Love is kind. And there are hundreds, literally hundreds of pieces in this collection. Some gorgeous papers and amazing ephemera pieces and sticker sheets. So do check it out. So just one final thing I wanted to add to the bottom right hand torn edge. Just a little sticker that says hugs and laughter. And then the close-ups are coming up now, and you'll see how I finished it off with my date on that label sticker and then my journaling at the bottom right. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.